Hi everyone, it's Ash here from Voice Magazine. I'm here with Deon, and he's a rapper from Queens, New York, and he's going to be telling us a bit about what he does and his career so far. So, hi Deon, how are you?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Not too bad, not too bad. How's the past week been? I saw that you released
Um,
something on YouTube recently.
yeah. Past week has been weird. I caught like a really bad cold, like in between my releases and performances. So I've just been trying to work from bed, work from home, and really just keep pushing stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely. Get well soon. I hope it's not taking too much out of you having this call with me.
Yeah, of course, man.
Sweet. So, I mean, what made you want to pursue a career in music? I know you're a photographer as well.
Yeah. When I've always been into music. Like as a kid, I was just exposed to it a lot, and it was just something that's always been like a hobby. It was just always there. I was a writer. I used to do stories, think pieces, like whatever that required writing, I did it.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until high school where I started rapping a lot more. And then I actually started producing music, making music. And then like 3 years ago, 2018, what made me really take it seriously was one of my old friends from high school had hit me up and he had rented out this crazy 4K Canon camera. And he was like, bro, like, I want to shoot you a music video. I'm testing this camera out. So we're at a point where both of us are just experimenting with our crafts, trying to get better. But it ended up being like mac and cheese, you know what I'm saying? Like, combination was just insane. So
Yeah.
I started taking it seriously from there. And, I met some really dope people along the way, and I was like, "Yeah, this is very possible." So
Yeah, cool.
just kept with it.
I definitely noticed with your videos as well. Yeah, the cinematography is very, very good. So I can
Yeah,
commend you on that one.
yeah, we trying hard as fuck. I actually just graduated last year from FIT with film and media.
Oh,
So
cool.
like, yeah. So and Adam is a self-taught like genius director. Like that's his shit. So us combined, we just go crazy with the visuals.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. So, what's the Queen like? Obviously, you're from Queens in New York. What's the landscape like there for new emerging artists?
Bro, it's weird. Queens is cool. I mean, obviously, anywhere around the world, like you mentioned New York music, people are gonna mention Brooklyn,
Hmm.
and Brooklyn's really been taking like the rap scene and like carrying it OD, especially with the drill.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't feel Queens has like a representative anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like Queens is not getting the love it deserves. Like well, of course we had Nas, but and we have Boz from Dreamville, but like we need someone now for this generation. And the landscape is weird. There's like a bunch of artists in Queens,
Hmm.
but everyone has like this weird ego. There's no like camaraderie. Like no one's really united. You feel me? So like my thing with Queens is that my whole thing is made in Queens. You feel me? Like I want to put it on my back. I want to have that community come together. I was like, if we just do one big massive push, we can literally be carrying the next wave.
Yeah.
So as an emerging artist in Queens, there's like just a lack of events in my eyes. Or like there's not a fucking hookah bar or something. Like the scene in Queens in general for music isn't that insane. We got Action Bronson though. I love Action
Yeah,
Bronson.
me too. Me too. Flushing
So
Queens.
it's just weird to navigate. Everything I do music related is outside of Brooklyn and all that. But when I drop my next project, everything's going to be in Queens.
Hmm.
Has to be in Queens.
And I also know around Queens, it's a very diverse area. Do you take any inspiration from the diverse cultures around you within your own music as well?
Um, honestly, a lot of my inspiration came from finally leaving Queens. I felt like I was very boxed in Queens,
Hmm.
at least for what I wanted to do. Like when it comes to like visual inspiration, Queens is fire. Like you have Liberty Avenue, you know what I'm saying? You got the brown folk, you got the Guyanese Trinidadian, you have Flushing, Elmers, it's like the Asian,
Yeah.
and you have like the little African parts. Like everywhere is just cool. It's like you get a bit of every culture within the borough. But there's just two things I like about it. Everything is spread out as and like in terms of certain neighborhoods,
Mhm.
and the train systems around Queens are garbage. Like you
Yeah.
gotta like travel into the city to Brooklyn to get to certain parts of Queens, and it's like my nigga, it's 10 minutes on the Belt Parkway. Like, what the so
Yeah. No,
so
we
but
get
I
that.
get inspired by the commutes. I think I'll thank Queens for that. The commutes, I have time to think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. A little bit of isolation time almost.
Yeah.
So what was the mindset that you've been having recently as you've been going into the tracks that you've been making?
Um, I haven't written in a bit. It's been like I've been on this like weird hiatus, but
Hmm.
what I've been thinking lately, I've just been approaching any type of creative endeavor, but especially the music. It's just like I'm getting more in tune with myself because it's just like this weird thing that when you start getting popular with music, you lose a little bit of yourself into the consumption. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to start making things that appeal to the consumer more, and I feel like sometimes along the way you play too much into that.
Yeah,
So lately, I've been honing back into what I want to make. You know what I mean?
yeah, trying to
So
stay as
mindset.
authentic as you possibly can.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like there's 7 billion people on Earth. It's very possible to find like a few hundred thousand that's gonna with your authentic self. And
Yeah,
that's like my
definitely,
main thing. It's like
definitely.
don't do it for the fans, do it for yourself.
Yeah, I feel like that definitely comes through as well with the songs I've heard of yours as well. They
Yeah,
seem very
yeah,
personal
thank you.
and very almost profound sometimes with things that you're saying. There's almost a vulnerability there. Is that something that you want to kind of convey with your music?
Yeah, I'm super big on communication and transparency. I feel like me personally, like rap, I love the lifestyle, but I feel like in today's music, we've lost a bit of that vulnerability, and like people think that this show pony that is on the blogs and I sell chain, blah blah blah, like
Yeah,
lavish ass lifestyle. That shit is not realistic for the average nigga. You feel me? Like I make cool music, but I'm not gonna like flex shit that I don't have. You feel me? I'm gonna be real what I'm going through. Like for example, the last music video I dropped, Growth, right?
yeah.
The day I went to shoot that music video, bro, my aunt had died. You feel me? Literally on the way to go to that
I'm sorry
video.
to hear that.
Hey, I appreciate it, but that just shows you like a lot of this shit goes on behind the scenes, and like
Yeah,
it would be a disservice of me to not represent that through music because I have a voice, I have a platform, so I just really want to keep that a buck. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, definitely, definitely. That's a great answer. So, what's the favorite track that you've released so far out of everything that you've ever done? The stuff on SoundCloud, the stuff on YouTube.
Um, I was just talking about this with my director, like literally last night. I think in just terms of like personal favoritism between friends remix, the freestyle I did,
Yeah,
I like out of everything, I just really like that song. Like the whole vibe is very like I'm a huge MF Doom fan. You feel me?
yeah,
Like
yeah. I
Flying
can
Lotus
tell.
fan. You feel me? So
Your beats especially, they definitely give me that kind of like doom-esque kind of vibe. I definitely feel that. Is there anything that you look for specifically in a beat?
I just have to feel it. Like if you peep the catalog, like it's hella diverse. Like we have
Yeah,
something for everybody. So like I just need to rock with it. I don't ever want to force a beat. Like that has me going like this all the way too.
yeah.
I know I found it. You know what I'm saying?
You can get the hands moving. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Like truly, when I listen to certain, I feel like I transport sonically. It sounds weird as but it's like a high that I get.
No,
And
yeah.
once I feel that high, it's like oh, and I
It's they
start
say it.
freestyling to it. It's
Music
like all
gives
right, I
you
found it.
music gives you serotonin for sure.
Yeah, oh God.
So is it over the were you writing through the pandemic at all?
Yeah, I literally I dropped my debut album last year, The Garden, through the pandemic.
Yeah.
That was like an album that was already finished, and thankfully for the pandemic, I rewrote that whole motherfucker because it wasn't resonating anymore. And
Mm.
I dropped one of my most popular songs, "Could I Miss My Friends," which went like locally viral.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm thankful as fuck for the pandemic because I wrote that song at like peak depression. So and that, like everyone resonated with it because it's a party bop. It's not a
Yeah.
depressing song. It's like you hear this come on, and people's like, "Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
sir." So
Bet you can't wait to play those kinds of songs live as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So pandemic was really good for writing.
So what are the themes that you like to convey like within your music? What are maybe the central things that you find that you always tend to go into with your lyrics?
So I have two projects out, and I have one project that's in the vault, ready for a release in March. And I noticed that each project kind of like conveys what I've been going through. That's always like my music always acts as a reflection or a mirror, which is why it's so diverse in a sense because I'm very there's like a duality within me. Sometimes I'm very very calm, very chill. I'm very smooth. I'm flowing through life. I'm taking things as they come. And then other times I'm very antsy and I'm very let's take over the world. Like fuck this shit, let's have a mosh pit. But I mean, like very like sporadic.
Yeah.
And I feel like every time I make a song, it's in between one of those two moods, never in between. So I don't make sad music. Like I tried to channel sadness, but I don't want to make sad. So it's either anger or it's happy. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. And what can we expect from the new music that you're about to release then? What kind of themes is that is that the anger or is it the energy?
It's energy, it's anger. It's like a healthy combination of everything, but it's definitely more anger because if you listen to The Garden, it's a very lighthearted album. I had all my homies on it, like it was cool as but this one is entitled Deon, and it's basically an origin story. Because me, truthfully, I believe that if you ever see someone that's super happy, like super like positive outlook on, very optimistic, either one of two things: they're very like blissfully ignorant, or they've been through a lot of shit, and it's affected how they perceive everything and how they react to like what life throws at them. That's what Deon is. Deon is my origin for The Garden. It's like, oh, Deon's such a nice guy. He's very positive. Yeah, nigga, that's because I've almost been gunned down in front of my crib. You feel me? Like,
yeah.
So that'll give you more insight. Everyone knows me as like the happy sunflower kid, but Deon was like going to bring back a bit like, here's how I got this way. You feel me? Yeah. It's a bit darker. It's a lot more gritty. It's a lot more real. You feel me? So definitely very excited for that. Niggas don't know that side.
What kind of advice would you give? Because on our site, we basically write and we produce things for people who are looking to get into the creative industries as well. So people who might be looking to take a similar route to the one that you've taken. What kind of advice would you give to someone who might be trying to make it in this kind of scene?
Honestly, I don't want to sound cliche with anything, but consistency is so important. Waking up and staying motivated is so important. Before you do anything, before you make a plan for yourself, just the motivation and consistency is key because that's like the oil to get to where you're going. Throw yourself out there. That honestly, the way I started looking at things, which has made me a little bit more reckless, is I'm in my early 20s. You feel me? There's a window period of like doing it like this. I would say like mid-30s before, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In terms of rap, because rap is really like a young man's game still. And but in any industry, you always want to get to it while you're younger because it's a lot harder when you're older and no experience. Mm-hmm. And the thing that really keeps me going is like, bro, I'm going to fucking die one day. I don't know what day that is, but I'm going to go. And I'd be mad as fuck if I'm on my deathbed. I'm like, damn, I should have pursued that. Yeah, I should have took more chances with that. Just build your network, approach people, literally just be humble, but walk with your out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you can print that.
It will be edited anyway. Oh yeah, have you had any issues going into music? Obviously, trying to become more renowned, I suppose, in the rap scene. Have you had any kind of problems or issues that you've come across it within the industry?
It's a lot of gatekeepers, and they're undeserving gatekeepers. They're just weird ass people that have clout that don't want to put you on because they either threatened or they're just corny about it. It's like weird shit. But honestly, I stay out of that lane. I have my own lane. Yeah. I have a great manager. I have a great team. So I just, whether you with me or not, it's not going to affect how the business goes. Mm-hmm. But outside of music, besides the regular like imposter syndrome and writer's block, nothing crazy. But in terms of personal life interfering with the music, that's been kind of nuts. Like, trying to do music, bro, I had to give up a 7-year relationship. You feel me? Like, yeah, like really nuts. You know what I mean? Like, I had to, pass on the job because like music really is like the end goal for me. So you find yourself, even photography had to go on the back burner. And like I just did crazy shit with the camera. So like to go from basically running around New York Europe with this like little camera in my bag and putting it on the back burner to see if I can replicate the same thing with music. You give up a lot of shit. You have a lot of times of doubting yourself. You're like, yo, can I make this happen twice? But you do all of this just to get that one big W that kind of shows you're on the right path. Just got to keep it going,
Yeah, no, definitely. It's interesting because you say there is that kind of duality of being a musician where it's like you've got to juggle the rest of your life as well at the same time. And that's something that comes up a lot when I speak to musicians is that idea of you've almost got to live a double life sometimes. But yeah, so you've just released as well on your YouTube. There was Infinity and Beyond. I believe the song was Infinity and Beyond by Kimchi Sauce. Um, would you be able to tell us a little bit about how that one came out?
Infinity Beyond was cool as um, it was like the first or second time I had linked up with this producer. So there's this duo out of Brooklyn named Kimchi Sauce and Donnie Durag, right?
Mm.
And I thought like their shit was fire. Kimchi, amazing producer. Donnie, he's like next big thing out of Brooklyn. And I was writing for this company called Grunge Cake, which actually does PR for me now. Grunge Cake magazine. Shout out to Richardine Barty. I was like, yo, can I cover these guys? Like this new song. He did this song called Tony Soprano or like Soprano something, and it was like a song. Basically, he recreated the Sopranos.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
cool as fuck. And I was like, yo, I need to do a write up on these guys. We did a write up. We all followed each other. We tapped in. We got cool. And Kimchi was like, "Oh, you rap?" And then he ended up chopping it up. Like he came to the studio. And then the second time I went, Donnie happened to be there. Mind you, I've never met them in real life.
Yeah.
That's how like small social media makes the world make.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, went there, and then he showed me this beat, and he was like, "Yo, like I want you guys on this." And then in the studio, I'm just writing. I'm like, "Yo, this shit's fire! Like, I want me on this for real." And he's like, "Bro, get on it." Just very organic.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing with music is when it comes to collaboration, we just feel each other out. And Kimchi with it, I with it, Donnie with it, and I was like, "All right, let's get something going." And then Kimchi enlisted two of his homies out of state that he got really cool with through marriage. He was like, "Yo, like, you want to shoot this music video?" Blah blah blah. And the dude he has, Henry, is like this amazing director with like an IMDb that's like you would never know until you saw. It's like, holy shit, this has been an essential part of my life forever. And his homie Trip Douglas, they're just a really dynamic duo of like cameraman and director. And they came down. I think Henry came from New Orleans or Arizona, one of those. I know he was on the shoot. Also a very cool duo, and they ended up coming all the way to Queens to shoot the video. And I was like, and we planned the whole thing. I had casted like 15 people. And it was just a very like it's all or nothing because Henry had to fly back to NOLA for work, so it was like we have this one day and this one day only. So we're going against elements, we're going against people's schedules, we're going against packages coming in on time, and like through the grace of God, bro, we started at 11 a.m. and ended up the field that we were gonna use preoccupied, but there was another one down the block that ended at 12, and people ended up coming. People ended up coming late at 12 anyway. And so we shot everything. Everyone came on time. We actually had a whole like Dominican baseball team that was there that wanted to be in the video, so that worked out. And so we went from Queens all the way to New Jersey, like North New Jersey, in like the sticks. And we finished here at 6 p.m., like right before this big ass lightning storm hit. I actually don't know if you've seen it, but it was like the first big flood in New York.
Yeah.
And we came back from Jersey in pitch darkness, fighting this flood. Like 8, 9 o'clock.
It seemed crazy what was going on.
People, cars were like underwater. It was some real nutty shit.
Yeah, definitely.
But everything came out. Everything went the way it was supposed to. So right now, we're just doing our hardest to put shit, like Infinity and Beyond. Because I feel like as a trio, bro, we're like the Power Rangers. Like it is really cool.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I really enjoyed listening to it.
So I'm glad you liked it.
No worries, no worries. So where is it that people can find your music? And is there anything else that you'd like to plug?
So I'm on Instagram as Deon, is that you? DEON, is that you? And there's a link in my bio that has my link tree. If you want to find me on Spotify, Apple Music, literally anywhere that they stream music, I go under Deon Raps. It's one word, DEON Raps. And my YouTube is also Deon Raps. And yeah, I have an album coming out March 15th. That's going to be my second independent album.
Yep.
Self-entitled Deon. I have a show this Friday. I have a show next week. I have shows all November. If anyone comes from the UK and want to pop out to New York, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. On that grind. Thank you so much, Deon, for doing this with me.
Yeah.
I'm hope that it all turns out all right, and good luck on the album release as well next year.
Thank you, man. Thank you. When it releases, I'll definitely be in touch.
All right, yeah, no worries. Cool. See you later.